How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about Lucid, which was up 3.37% on the day. We got some great news from Jerome Powell. We saw a rally in these markets. I've been talking about this for quite some time. I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder, you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch its full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is the technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. We want to know what it looks like in the bearish case scenario and as well as in the bullish case scenario. And then we're going to be going on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information. The reason why this is important because it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to take a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know the buying and the selling behavior on the retail side and as well as on the institutional side. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for Lucid. Let's see how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at $20.26, being up 3.37%. On the low, it tested $18.71, and then on the high, testing $20.30. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 20.217 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 23.514 million shares. So we did have below average volume on the day, but we saw some strength in the stock. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is a daily chart, you can see from the RSI down below, it's at 45.96. And then when we take a look at our moving averages here on the chart, we are below the 200-day, the 100-day, the 50-day, and as well as the 21-day EMA. And we had a strong day inside of the market, so we saw Lucid being able to benefit from this. So we were able to form another higher low, and we were able to get above resistance that we had previously at $20.01, seeing a high of $20.30, and then closing at $20.26. So what I want to see going into tomorrow, if this strength does continue, I want to see Lucid getting to the 21-day EMA, which is at $20.53. If we could reclaim this level and hold support, that's where I want to see a potential move to see if Lucid can get to around $21.85 and then see if we can make that move going to $22. But keep in mind, we have earnings that is coming for this week. So if it ends up being disappointing, don't be surprised if we end up having a pullback. The low on the day was at $18.71. So I feel a disappointment for earnings. We could have Lucid going back, trading around the $17.60 range. And of course, that would be an area that you'd want to see hold up. And do know that earnings is going to be coming out on Thursday as well, just in case you forgot about that. But for the most part, the chart is looking bullish, and I want to see us get to that 21-day EMA at 2053. Now let's move on to the short interest information. So we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information for Lucid. So scrolling down on the page, green rows indicate new positions, while red rows indicate closed positions. So taking a look at the recent filings from May the 4th, we have a closed position here, but we also have Gladstone Institutional Advisory LLC that purchased 31,087 shares, and we also have Emeritus Advisor Services that purchased 30,160 shares. We also see the California Public Employees Retirement System that purchased 800,467 shares, and we have Foresight Capital Management Advisors Inc. that purchased 1,905 shares. So we see institutions loading up. Now, when we take a look at the short interest, the off-exchange short volume ratio is at 57.50%, and then for the off-exchange short volume, it is just over 3.86 million shares. Scrolling down on the page, the short shares availability is at 200,000, updated 5 minutes ago, and then for the short borrow fee rate, it is at 8.53%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume, we can see for the close of the second, it was at 55.86, and then for the close of the third, being at 57 57.50. So what does this show us? Lucid does have short squeeze potential, considering the short interest percentage of the float is at 19.03%. And the criteria we look for is 14% or higher. Now let's move on to the order flow distribution. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for Lucid. So we see here on the inflow, it's at 57.15, and then on the outflow, it is at 77.52. So we had an outflow day. Taking a look at the breakdown, on the large, it was 0.77. On the medium, it was 32.89. And then on the small, it was 23.49. Keep in mind, these numbers are in the millions. Taking a look at the outflow side, it was at 12.54. On the medium, it was 41.96. And then on the small, it was 23.02. Taking a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you can see for today, May the 4th, we had an outflow of 11.77 million. Analyzing the numbers even further for the small scale orders that tend to represent the retail side, you can see that we had more buying than we had selling. And then when we take a look at what happened on the medium, we had more selling than we had buying. And then taking a look at the large represents whales, institutions, and funds, we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at the turnover ratio, it was at 1.22%. So this is a consistent range for Lucid. If you remember in yesterday's video, it was under 1%. So we're seeing a lot of volatility in the play. There's no surprises knowing that earnings is right around the corner. And we also did see a strong rally in these markets, which contribute to volatility, since earlier in the day, we did experience quite a sell-off. So now let's go into the final thoughts and we'll go over some more details as well. So for my final thoughts for Lucid, when it comes to the price action, we had a strong rally inside of the market and we were able to break through resistance at $20.01. And one thing that I want to look for going into tomorrow, if the momentum continues, especially since we do have earnings, I want to see if Lucid can get to at least around $20.53, which is where we have the 21-day EMA. And if we end up actually breaking through this level, it can get very interesting because if there's a lot of buying pressure, we could potentially see the stock getting to around $21.85. But let me be clear here. I'm personally not seeing that whatsoever. And if they even are able to get to $21 right before earnings, I would be very impressed. But as far as for the test at $20.53, I think this is a very doable achievement. But do know there's volatility, so make sure you adjust your game plan for it. As far as for the downside, if they end up having a pullback, you want to see some support holding up at least at around $18. And as far as earnings is concerned, if they end up disappointing, then we want to see if it pulls back to around $17.60, and then you'd want to see support hold up. And if it doesn't, the next area of support is around $16.10. Again, it's going to be a volatile time for Lucid, knowing that earnings is going to be coming out in the after hours on Thursday. Also, when we went on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership, we could see that institutions have been loading up on shares. And then taking a look at the short interest information, Lucid does have short squeeze potential. But in order to see a short squeeze, we need to see increased buying volume coming into the stock. This is very crucial. I know many of you might say, well, you know what? Almost every single video you make, you say it has short squeeze potential. The key word is potential. So I want to make sure you fully understand that. So with the volatility we've had inside of this market and with the rally we had towards the end of the day, everything came out beautifully. I was saying in a lot of my videos, if Jerome Powell comes out and sticks with 50 basis points, and if he's not hawkish, look for a rally inside the market, and that's exactly what we got today. So I know I got some messages. Many people were able to take advantage of this. So as far as for tomorrow, we want to see that rally's actually going to continue. And we want to see if Lucid could get to $20.53. Don't forget about that level. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I can't wait to see how the stock performs going into tomorrow. We'll talk soon.